Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Bowen. I'm a property investor and I'm a coach and I'm a speaker in property. And tonight I'm joined by very beginning lines of what it's like to buy property, and that's Sweleni. I'm going to introduce in just a second. Like I said, I am a property investor. I work with investors, I work with partners, and part of doing this is understanding that this is a team game. This really is a people game. And so this young lady, which I'm going to bring on now, started her own sourcing company. This is the pinnacle of where it all starts. If you can't find the properties, I don't know how you're going to get into property at all. So let me bring her in without further ado. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sweleni. Sweleni, how are you this evening?
Hi, Mr. Bowen. Hi, Michael. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good, by the way.
I'm fantastic. And I said it earlier, I love what you're wearing. It's bright, it's cheerful. It just gave me a big smile when I came on. It goes with your smile. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I'm welcoming the next season. Gone with the winter.
Yeah, we're having our last storm at the moment. I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background, but this cold front in Cape Town is blowing in literally as we speak. I don't know if you can hear it in the background at all.
No, I can't. I have a few friends of mine who are based that side have told me about the dramatic weather you are having.
Cool. Let's start with first of all, where are you based? Which part of our lovely country?
Okay. I'm currently based in Gauteng, to be more specific, Rudubot. So to be further more specific, I'm based in Cosmo City under Rudubot.
Okay, perfect. And then I really want to dive into this. And we were just speaking recently, and I want everyone to know this. What is your core vision, or what is your core value around what it is you're doing? Before we even get to it, just kind of give it to me straight.
Yes. So my core vision, it is to make property investing accessible and convenient. It's accessible for the people who cannot afford to invest in property through teaching, obviously, and then convenient to the people who can actually afford investing in property but do not have the time to be able to go out there, view properties, do negotiations, the due diligence, all those kind of things before buying the property.
Absolutely love that. It ties up with part of our core vision as well within Zeta Homes, the company that we run, is that when we're looking for investors, we believe that people should get paid to learn. You shouldn't have to pay to learn. We want to give it to people for free, let them earn interest from their money, and teach them as we go through. And I love it because that's probably why we kind of came together. The universe is a strange way of bringing people together for that exact same reason, and your core value strikes on that. So I just want to dive, before I go into the business side of things, I want to kind of get a little bit of a sense and feel on the background of you. So you're living in Joburg. I believe you're a mother to a son, daughter.
I'm a mother of two, actually, a son and a daughter.
All right. How old are they now?
My daughter is 4. She just turned 4 this month. And then my son is a year and a half.
A year and a half. Is it true what they say about this terrible twos? When they get to 2-year-old, they get to be real kind of naughty little people, or?
Yeah, it's very much true. But to be honest, they are just beautiful at that age. They are just adorable. You're learning all these new things about them, the new personalities, the funny way of talking, and all of that. Is just, I can't get enough of it. It's just adorable.
Love it. And I'm just guessing here, but that's probably a big drive behind a lot of the business that you do, is your family.
Yes, it's building a legacy. My slogan, the slogan of my company, it is building generational wealth together. So obviously the together part, it means my kids, but also the other people, as I said, the people who cannot afford and the people who can afford. So basically, it's definitely for them first, before the other people, as they say, charity begins at home. You have to first begin at home, build for your children, build for your family before you can say, I'm helping other people as well build.
I love that. That is fantastic. So let's just start off with a little bit of business stuff then around that. Now, obviously, I've done this a few times with sourcing agents. I love sourcing agents. They're fantastic. Like you said, they take all the hard work.
I've noticed.
But yeah, look, I work a 9-to-5 job as well. So, and there's people out there, how do you work a 9-to-5 and invest in property? I was like, well, I partner with the right people. And one of those people is someone like yourself. So can you briefly just explain to people who are going to watch here and in the replay, what sourcing is. What's between a sourcing agent and a real estate agent? Because I get asked that a lot. People don't understand there's a difference. If you wouldn't mind breaking it down a little bit, please.
Okay. I understand that question, to be honest. I feel like sourcing in South Africa, it's not known enough just yet. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we're here. We're just trying to tell people that there are different ways of investing in property, and sourcing is amazing, yet people do not know about it. So to try and explain it in the best way I normally explain to other people, it is just to say sourcing, it's more like being an estate agent, but as estate agent help sellers be able to sell their properties, a sourcing specialist help the investor to be able to find profitable, suitable investment opportunities. So that's my best way of describing it.
I love that definition. It's simple. It's like the estate agent works for the seller and the sourcing agent works on behalf of the investor or the buyer. It is a fantastic, great definition of it. And now you've been doing this for a while. How long are we talking now that you've been doing this for?
I have been doing this since 2018. 2018, it was, as they always say, that the best way to go about this is obviously to first invest in yourself. So that is the education before going out there and doing this. Because obviously you'll be dealing with millions, 100,000s, those large sums of money. You need to know your stuff. So I started doing this 2018. It was my masterclass 2018. And then 2019 media, it was my mentorship. Then during my mentorship, that's when I started with the sourcing. And then 2021 beginning, that's when I started to teach other people and just to try and build some kind of a sourcing community, as I noticed that in South Africa, sourcing is not that much famous and it's just underrated.
It's amazing, hey? I find the same. Like if you look abroad, if you read the bigger pockets from the US and you look at the investors international in the UK, sourcing agents are well respected. It's in the front there. It's like you need to get yourself a sourcing agent. That's like the number one place you go to. And for some reason over here, we haven't copped on just yet to how good they are or what they can do. Now I'm kind of happy because I get my sourcing agents coming to me, and you don't really want to share a good sourcing agent because you don't want to give away all the deals. But I'm glad to see that somebody is kind of leading that charge and going, no, we're going to bring this to the forelight, because the more sourcing agents out there, the more they get trained by people who've done it themselves, the better it is for all of us. How many have you gone through so far, and how many have you trained up so far?
So it's a level kind of thing. There's obviously the training, just the theory-based training, obviously with some task, and then there is what I call a learn and earn kind of program, learn and earn kind of coaching. So through the training, I think, oh my goodness, I've lost count, but I'm still starting out. So I think I have about 15 plus sourcing specialists there who have just finished with their training and are already out there viewing properties, running the numbers, contacting investors, and just trying to get their feel in terms of how to go about all of this. And then under the Learn and Earn coaching program, I only have one gentleman. I think some of the people have seen me post on Facebook about the deals I'm working on in Potchefstroom, to be more broad, and Northwest. So the gentleman there, he is actually my business partner, who is also a mentee of mine. So he started obviously from the training up to a point where we work together. So as I said, my vision it's to make property investing accessible. So I train them, and then during the coaching, that's where I'm like, you know what? Let's be more practical. I'm gonna be your business partner during this coaching process. Just to make this a win-win. You get to regain back the money you paid for the coaching, for the training, at the same time start saving up immediately for that first property of yours or whatever it is that you want to do with your money.
So that for me is gold. And I know it for myself. Having advised people to go away and take training courses and read the material, that's where it starts. But the problem that I found was just, I don't know if you had the same when you first started. The difference between what is said in a book and what is in reality can sometimes be very wide. It feels like it's a huge chasm. And you need someone to kind of walk you through that little gap. And once you've gone through it once or twice with that person, you just go, this isn't that bad, actually. I've got this. And we do the same as well. We take investors with us from purely book to actually having it owned on their own name. You know, it's you get that gap in between. And I love it. And I also call it a learn and earn for our investors. Where they
That's
get
amazing. I think I saw it on your website as well. I was like, oh, what a coincidence. And I didn't see it before.
We're using the same words because it is. I mean, learn and earn. I don't see why people should have to pay all that much money to learn when they can learn and earn and get it all back in what they've invested.
Exactly.
Property and what you're talking about there is exactly the same. It's that ability to, you know, which other, I can't think of all my university degrees, my masters I paid for, and then I could quantifiably get it back on the next thing that I did. And if I look at my own education, you know, I spent 100 and something thousand rand on all that education back then. But as soon as I finished it, that first property actually paid for that.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, so you've got this business now. Has it got a brand name? Kind of just help everyone out if you want to share the message of it. What's it called? How do they get hold of you?
The name of the business is SMNP. It stands for Sweleni, Mfundo and Partners. So there's a partner of mine whom obviously I'm doing this with, but he is more on the investing side and I'm more on the sourcing side. So it's a matter of muscle. He can afford obviously paying for the renovation cost and all of those things. And since I cannot, I was like, let me just focus on the sourcing division so that we can be able to raise more money, and then we shift it to the investing division, and then we build the wealth, obviously. So this partner of mine is the father of my kids. So that's why I keep on saying legacy, generational wealth kind of thing, because it's more of a family kind of situation.
So it actually is a family business then. It's keeping it in the family.
Yes.
I hope the kids are getting involved. I mean, I know that they're young, but I think we should start, bringing them in, getting them trained up.
Yes, I take them to viewings actually. My daughter loves those. She'll be running around the house going, oh my God, there's this thing she always say when she likes something. Cece running around the house, seeing the bedrooms, pointing at the kitchens and all of that. She's already involved and I love that. She loves it herself.
I could imagine what she's going to be like as a property investor when she's 21. She's going to be killing it. She's going to be crushing it. She's going to know everything there is to know about it. That's going to be, she's going to be bypassing school and going straight into the entrepreneurial curve. It's something
that's
that
the goal.
For years.
That's the goal. I want them to have the opportunities.
Yes. And I do think it's better to be in that entrepreneurial space rather than working for somebody else. I still work a job myself, and I love what it is what I do, but I understand that property will bring me generational wealth and longer term wealth. But I wish I could have started off, even in my younger 20s, if I'd started in property, where would it be now? So that's fantastic. So the website, you've got a website or a Facebook page?
Yes. Yes, I do have a website, and I also do have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is quite long. I'm not sure if somebody can carry this. The Facebook page, it's SMNP, Professional Sourcing Specialist and Investors. That is our Facebook page. All the information is right there. The website, the cell phone, the telephone numbers, access to my Telegram, access to my WhatsApp. It's all there. I'm just going to post that again for the people to be able to just find it there as well.
What I'm going to do is when the video finishes and when we do publish it, for everyone who's watching on the restream, I'm going to put it there in the comments. If you can just send it to me on WhatsApp afterwards, I'll put it there nice in the comments so they can just click on it and go straight there. That's for the Facebook page and or the web page, either one or both I can happily put up. That'll then bring them live into you, and then once they come into you, like you say, they've got a choice of going through the course as well as in through the mentoring. So it's a 2-level component to that, and they can become a business partner with you.
Yes.
Fantastic. So in terms of, I'm just trying to think now from a property investor's point of view, people who are watching, what areas do you cover specifically? I know, have you got a specific farm area that your students are mainly in, or is it actually growing further and further? What's the kind of main area that you can help investors in?
Okay. So the areas I like are obviously Roodepoort. One of the things I teach and I always say as a sourcing specialist is that you want to cut on overhead costs as much as possible. So you do not want to be based in Roodepoort and now source in Pretoria, because obviously the petrol, the transport costs is just ridiculous. So obviously I work around Roodepoort, and one of my most favorite areas is Florida, as I love capital flips. So I do Florida, I do Horizon in Roodepoort, and then I also do Randburg. In Randburg, I do Kensington B. So those are the three main areas I like. Obviously, I branch out to the other areas every now and then, but I prefer to be more based on the areas I'm comfortable with, that I know very, very much about. So if the investor obviously has some queries or anything, I'm able to help him transfer the experience, transfer the knowledge in a way that to help him, make an informed decision regarding that investment opportunity.
So what we're saying right now is any investor who's watching this right now who wants to invest in the West Rand kind of side of Johannesburg, of Florida,
Yes.
Randburg, heard Roodepoort, heard Kensington B, they need to be reaching out and making contact with you and getting in contact with you and building up their relationship, because properties are going to come. And it's a great place for people to start in. Kensington B, I love the fact that you mentioned that. I've got a property there. It's a multi-let. Absolutely love the Kensington B area. Such quick access into Joburg for an investment area. It's just great.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I can see your face come alive, isn't it?
Multiple exit strategies. That's the thing I like about those areas. Multiple exit strategies, and all of them are profitable.
What I like about Florida as well is the size of the land. It's huge properties there. I'm in Cape Town. That's a fortress for us. We get our little 300 square meters and we're happy. We're like, hey, city, 300 square meters. I was looking at one the other day in Roodepoort. It's 2,500 square meters. I was thinking that's a whole block in Cape Town. But okay, so those are great areas. I'm actually going to we've just now signed up a new partner in Johannesburg. He lives in Roodepoort. He's very interested in investing in Roodepoort. I'm going to get him to reach out to you. His name is Ralph. I'm sure that we're going to be doing business soon. That is a guarantee. You've got the properties,
Awesome.
I've got the business partners, and I've found the investors. This is great. If anybody else watching and goes in the future. So you do work on the West Rand predominantly. Are you finding other agents across the country yet? I mean, when are you going to come to Cape Town and start training people up here? Now, I've got people who reach out to me and go, I'd love to get involved in sourcing, but I don't know what to do.
I think
Sweleni, are you there?
my network is acting up. Sorry, Michael. Hey, please give me a second.
That's all right. This is real life. This is what happens. Networks act up. It's exactly how it goes.
Okay, perfect. I think we're back. Yes, so you were asking me about agents on other countries?
On other cities, yeah. I mean, I've got people kind of reaching out to me and saying, I'd love to learn about sourcing. Do you train people up in other cities?
Yes, I do. I like to make it accessible in South Africa in general. As I briefly said when we started, that I have a mentee and a business partner who's based in Northwest. So that is the first ever mentee on another province. So I do work with sourcing specialists on other provinces. Obviously, there is a system and there are policies and there are structures there which I need to follow very strictly, because I am unable to to go there and view the properties physically all the time. But generally, yes, I do work with sourcing specialists on other provinces. In terms of Cape Town, is in Western Cape. I only have trainees right about now. People who went through the training, they were like, you know what, Sweleni, we want to just take the second, be able to apply this theory and see how it goes. If we get stuck, we're just going to come back to you and be like, oh, can you please be part of the learning and coaching program? So the other provinces, I only have trainees so far, which is Durban, Mpumalanga, Limpopo. It's just all over South Africa. People are learning and are loving the sourcing thing.
Cool. So I'm going to get probably 2 or 3 people to reach out to you because I know that these 3 people would love to learn more about sourcing. I'm going to get your details. And this is how business is done in property. It's networking and then just hearing what the other
Yes,
person says. And
yes.
you go, oh, should I thought about this person? They should come to. I'm going to get their details through to you for starters afterwards. Um, yeah, that's kind of all the kind of questions I have from my side. I think that's enough for people to understand what it is you do, that enough that they should know they should reach out to you. I think they should be reaching out to you if they're an investor. I think they should be reaching
Mm,
out to you if they want to do property sourcing, which requires very little capital downlay,
mhm,
but can be very, very profitable. Um,
mm,
and I think that anybody else who's interested in forming a partnership as well, again, reach out to you. So I'm certainly going to
yes.
spread that word around. Is there anything else you'd like to mention to the people watching? Bearing in mind there will be replays going on for some time.
Yes. Um, oh my goodness. Let me try and sum it. I always have a lot of things to say because I'm passionate about this. Uh, oh well. My biggest motivation regarding this whole sourcing thing, it is just to say to people, it is doable. Everything is possible as long as you put your mind into it, as long as you're willing to die a few times to be reinvented, to have your character, trained or specific. I don't know. Um, it's a matter of hard work. It's a matter of being resilient. It's a matter of being persistent. And above all, it's a matter of being creative and being innovative. There are a lot of sourcing specialists out there, but obviously you need to find a way to be different, your own kind of signature sourcing kind of thing. Um, as I said, I have a lot to say, but basically this is doable. The only way you can do this, obviously, is to just jump in and do it. Find somebody who can teach you this. My company can teach you this. I think your company as well, they cover the whole coaching of property investors. They should reach out, find a company that suits them, the company that speaks to their soul, that can coach them in terms of how to invest in property, whether they do have the money or do not have the money. After the whole course, the whole coaching, one thing which people do not do is actually going out there and doing it. You will find people complaining about, oh, I invested 50,000 rands, 40,000 rands in this coaching, it never worked. And then the question is always, okay, what did you do about it? You learn how to do 1, 2, 3. Did you go out there and actually do 1, 2, 3? Did you continue to do it even after a few failures? Did you come back to the system, the structure to readjust and see where did you go wrong? How can you do different and all of that? And then they always say that it's only failure the second you quit. So the second you decide that this property thing is not working, congratulations, you have failed. But if you're gonna keep on trying, reach out to us. We're gonna help you. We're gonna guide you. We're gonna motivate you. Yeah, it's doable. It's possible.
I
That's just a
am
general no.
I am thrilled you said that. I was talking to somebody a while back about property, and they also went through the whole training thing. They spent a lot of money on it, and they said to me, "It doesn't work." And I was like, "How do you mean?" It's like, "Well, we did this and it didn't work." And I was like, "Are you still telling yourself it doesn't work?" And they were like, "Yes." And I said, "Well, congratulations, you're right. It doesn't work." I said, "For me, it
Exactly.
works." And I tell myself that it works, and it works because of that. But a lot of people, they do, like you say, they'll quit after the first or second failure. I'm like, no, that's
Hmm.
not failure. That's just lessons of learning of what isn't right. You were off course a little bit. You needed a little bit of guidance towards the middle, and you've got to
Yes.
go through it. I was given a bit of a what was the conversation of failure is not failure. It's only like you say. It's only when you give up that it's really failure. That is
Yes.
failure.
Mm.
And people never. I mean, I got quite a few properties now, and one of the first few ones that I did, people looked at it afterwards and went, "Oh, that's so easy for you." I'm like, "Yeah, but you didn't see the time that I lost 14,000 euros in 1 month. You didn't see the sleepless nights. You didn't,
Exactly.
you didn't see all the failures that I had along the way, the sleepless nights, the hard work, and you didn't see any of that. All you saw was Michael coming up with the property and going, ta-da." Like, it wasn't a ta-da. It took a long time to get that right. Um,
Exactly.
it's like you say, you just got to keep going. And I can see you are very passionate about it as
Absolutely.
well.
To the core.
To
There's
the
no
core.
turning back from me. I'm stuck here. This is my calling. My gift is linked to all of this. My purpose is linked to this. So I'm stuck. I'm
Well,
happy here.
that is great. I mean, imagine being stuck in your happy place. That must be so nice.
It's perfect.
There's still a lot of people out there who are stuck in the 9-to-5 job, and there's nothing wrong with the 9-to-5 job. I've still got one, and I love it. I work for the
No,
Western Cape government, and
nothing.
I get involved in people and resolving problems for the kind of the province. But some people go, "Oh, I hate it." I'm like, well, why are you doing it? Oh, that's all there is. Well, no, you're telling yourself again that that's all there is, and you're smiling because you know that people do that, and you just go, "Why are you doing that to yourself? There's much better things out there." Cool. So anyway, we're coming up to on the dot 25 minutes. I like to keep these things under 25 to 30 minutes at most, because then people have got
Yes.
a lot of things to do and we're competing for a lot of attention. But I want to thank you for your time. I hope you get some people reaching out to you. I'm certainly going to be getting some people to reach out to you. Nick from PE will be reaching out to you. Probably Maria, get her to reach out to you, and a couple others. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I love these networking sessions.
These are fantastic, aren't they?
Yes.
Love it. Okay, Sweleni, thank you so much and have a good rest of your evening.
All right, awesome. You have a wonderful one, by the way.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, speaking to a sourcing agent who trains up people how to find properties for you. Literally, you don't have to leave your house. They will bring it to you pre-packaged. Or if you want to learn how to do it yourself with no money required. This isn't a intensive money strategy. This is a low money entry into a solution of property. I've known quite a few people. I know a lot of few people who started with sourcing and then built up their nest egg to start to go into flipping, to start to go into buy to let. Start somewhere is all I'm saying. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you had a great time, and I look forward to seeing everyone again soon.